Maybe you feel attacked, or maybe you're marching into battle or climbing up a mountain and you feel intimidated. Well, today I want to share with you an ancient prayer of protection from a great leader for leaders. Welcome to the Grow Time Biz Devo, where we explore God's principles for living a high-performance life. My name is KTo&x. Today, I want to just do something a little bit different. It might actually be a little bit shorter than episodes normally are on the Biz Devo podcast. But I've sort of shared a little bit about some of the challenges that I'm going through, some personal challenges, some physical challenges, some business challenges. Just seems like actually it's coming a little bit from everywhere as a leader. And I'll be honest with you, like there have been times where it's like been kind of scary, or there have been times where you don't feel like pursuing it in the morning. You're questioning, the thing that God told you was the thing, and you're sometimes questioning it, and you're like, I'm marching up this mountain. Is it the right mountain? Because it feels like there's like cliffs on either side, and if I slip just a little bit, I'm going to like destroy everything. It's catastrophic failure. Can feel like that. It can seem like that. And I've experienced that lately. And so my dad gave me this psalm. Now this is a psalm actually that it's a prayer. And he told me, just pray it every day. And it turns out this is a psalm that I went to a very small Christian elementary school in Queens, New York. And it wasn't because we had a lot of resource or money. It was actually, it took all of my parents' money to do that. It was for the safety and the investment into us, their kids, because all the other schools around were pretty dangerous back then. And so I remember in school having to memorize this psalm. And now, 30 or so years later, it's not the first time I've read it. I've read it before, but it's the first time I've looked at it that way again. And so I want to share it with you, and I want to pray it over you. And then I want to bring highlights to some of the things that I saw as important to me. And I'm leading things. Some of them are big things. Some of them are scary things. Some of the battles we're fighting are big battles, right? Like there's real spiritual enemies, and we're fighting these battles. There are great opportunities and there are great trophies that I'm running for. There are great things that I desire, and I think that might be you as well. I know with our community, like that's our people, and so I don't know what you're going through right now, but I know oftentimes, like we'll like I'll talk with leaders and I'll talk with entrepreneurs, and like we'll chop it up and like say how you doing, and like everyone says great business, great, this is great. The truth is like always, almost always, when you peel underneath the surface of like those kind of surface level conversations, you realize not everything's great. Like in fact, I would say, and maybe you feel this, like the truth is most of the time things aren't all great. You've got to find the greatness. Most of the times things seem hard because human beings find the hard, like we're aware of the hard things and the scary things and the fearful things and the dangerous things more than we are the other things. And today, actually, I'll just say like, today is a special day. When I'm recording this, I don't know when it'll be out, but this is the last day of a 21-day fast that I've been on. And I've started every year for the last 7 years with a 21-day fast. And this one has been the hardest. And usually, like, things move. Like, in fact, every single fast that I've had, like, things have moved. And so maybe that's something you need to employ. Maybe it's a tool that you need to try, that fasting tool. So I've been praying this, and I want to pray it over you, and then I want to actually share some things. Psalm 91. By the way, this is a psalm of either Moses or David. They're not really sure who it's by. Both were great leaders. Both faced impossible challenges. Both did impossible things, right? Parting the water, like, not through their strength, but they had to believe it was possible, right? David killing Goliath, the lion, Like all these things, impossible things these guys did. They faced impossibilities. They faced situations that absolutely looked like there was no way out. And God provided a way out. And they led people through that. And I don't want to take anything away from them. Like, yes, God provided a way, but like they had to believe in that way. They had to lead people to the edge of that water before it had parted, believing that it was going to part. And you're telling me that there wasn't a little bit of doubt in their mind? Well, it turns out maybe there wasn't. But like when I go up against things and when I see like no way out, I'm all of a sudden thinking like how could it be possible? Like, well, it is possible. And so these are people that did these kind of things. And by the way, both these guys struggled with their ability and personal challenges, right? Moses had to speak before Pharaoh and didn't have the ability to speak. He didn't believe he had the ability to speak. And David had all sorts of personal struggles that plagued him for a lot of his life. In fact, David was surprisingly, in my opinion, up and down, which I can relate to, right? Like you read his Psalms and you're like, you're the king of Israel and you defeated Goliath and you killed the lions, you did all these things, and you're scared right now. Like, I didn't think that was possible. Well, it turns out it was. And that actually is cool because it like shows us that these people aren't like higher than us. Like they've done great things, but like they go through the ups and downs as well. And so it was either by Moses or David, but either one, a great, great leader. So let me get into it. Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. That is a peaceful statement that I just want you to stay on. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Abiding under the shadow of the Almighty. Dwell and abide. Like when I picture that, I picture like all worry, fear, and anxiety going away. It's just like a peaceful place. Have you ever stepped into, I was right down the block from my office, and my new office and my old office. Like my new office is actually closer to it. Right down the block. I'm looking at it right now as a church. It's an old Methodist church. It's been here for hundreds of years. And every once in a while, over the last 10, 15 years, as I've been going through like things, and like sometimes there'll be really challenging situations and I'm not sure what to do. And sometimes I'm worried or scared. They always leave the sanctuary open. And like these churches have these beautiful cathedrals, right? Like you just like, if you've ever been to like St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan, you're like, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like that. It's like a mini version of that. And so it's beautiful and it's quiet and it's like vast and it's like there's echo in it. And you just feel like you're in the presence of something great because you are. And so anytime that's happened, like I would walk over there and it turns out they leave that open all day, this little church over here for people who want to come in and pray. And there's rarely anyone in there. And so I'd walk in there every once in a while and I'd just sit in the back row and just like be quiet and pray and like just look out and listen to the calm and all the noises of the town echoing through those halls, but in a very peaceful way because it's this beautiful cathedral and it just brings peace. And so like when I read these words, that's the picture that I have. I don't know what the picture that you have is, but like that secret place, that peaceful place. He who dwells in the secret place, the Most High, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Verse 2, I will say to the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Surely He will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. I just want to point out in verse 2, it says, I will say to the Lord. It's important to speak these words. You know, it's one thing to read these words, but I was made aware of this and I already knew it. Like, you got to speak them. You have to pray these over your situation and yourself. You have to pray these even if you're not in a situation that's scary. But I would venture to say every single person has something that's threatening them in some way, especially if you're leading something big. And so you have to say these words. You can't just read these words. Like you have to say them. I will say of the Lord. Why do we have to say it? He is my refuge and he is my fortress. Like these may be things, we've talked about this before, that you may not feel in the moment. You may not even be at the point where you believe them. But if you speak the truth, you speak these words, they have power regardless of your feelings, regardless of your situation and the facts around you. These words have power. So you must say them. Like these are words. Here's how someone framed it for me. You can pray all your prayers, and that's totally fine. All prayers are good. Some prayers, turns out, are a little better than others because the better you get at praying, like the words that you use and the specificity that you have actually does impact. It does matter. But we can pray our prayers, but this is a prayer that was written by like Moses or David. It's like tried and true. Like, why not pray their prayers? Pray these words. So I'll say, you have to say these words. He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in him will I trust. You may not feel like it, but you say it, you believe it, and you trust it. Surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge. It's like protection. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. What's interesting about truth is the world has this concept of like my truth, and thank God that's going away. That's starting to die. It's so ridiculous. But there's one truth. It's God's truth. Here's what's interesting about that. It doesn't matter what the facts of the circumstance or the situation is. Like, yes, those are facts. They're real facts. And I'm not suggesting you deny those facts, but let's put those facts in perspective with the God of the universe. Like those facts are subservient to the truth of the God of the universe who created everything, who runs those facts, who rules those facts. Now you have to believe that. If you don't believe that, I'm sorry, you might suffer through your situation more than you have to. Just the fact. But the truth is, if you believe that, then you can't give more credence to what you see around you than just what it is. Like, this is what's happening. These are the facts. It doesn't matter what it looks like, because it says right here, this is a powerful verse and it's so important. Don't gloss over it. His truth shall be your shield and buckler, not the facts, but his truth. So what is his truth? What does he say about the situation? We're going to talk about, we're going to read what are some of his truths, but his truths are throughout this Bible. It turns out, it says many, many times, like, it doesn't matter your circumstance. Like if Moses was standing at the edge of the Red Sea and he didn't believe God's truths, but he believed only the facts. There's water in front of me, and I've got a bunch of people behind me, and I've got the Egyptians chasing us to kill us. Like, if he just looked at that for what it was, he'd say it was over. But he didn't. He believed in the truth that God told him, which was the impossible, actually. And it's the only, and by the way, the impossible doesn't always happen, but the only chance of it happening is actually believing that it can happen. And the truth is God's truth overshadows all that kind of stuff. He could do anything. He says multiple times that you can do anything. You can move mountains. So like David, right? Like he went and fought a lion. Have you ever thought about fighting a lion? He didn't have anything. He had a rod and a sling, and he fought the lion, but he fought the lion like with his bare hands. This is a man, a relatively small man, as I understand it. He fought a lion to save a lamb. Okay, so that sounds crazy, but it is what it is. Like, clearly the facts of the situation didn't intimidate him from what he believed about himself through God's truth. When he fought Goliath, Goliath was intimidating an entire army for days and days and days. He was taunting them. And David, here's the thing about David. This is something, I think I brought this out in another devotion, but like I only was made aware of this recently, and it's so important. David was anointed to be king of Israel before Goliath, right? So like, and while he was a boy. Now that didn't happen for several years, right? He went through a lot of problems before that happened, but he was anointed to be king of Israel. He was given a mission. He was given an assignment, and he believed it. So when Goliath came, like this man clearly could have and should have killed David. Like there was no chance that David had man on man with this guy. Like he's 9 feet tall. David is like small. He's skinny. Goliath is a warrior. David has never been to battle. Goliath has equipment and a giant sword. David doesn't have anything but a sling, which like sounds crazy. But here's the deal. What's interesting about David is God's truth that was in his heart was his assignment. And he knew he was anointed as king of Israel. He was going to be king. He believed it 100%. And he took that as the truth, and he didn't take the facts of the situation as the truth. It's interesting in personal development, like there are like surface level ideas that relate to these things, but they're so surface level, like they're good, but like they're just not deep enough. Like thinking positively about a situation. Yeah, that's important. That's like surface level version of this, right? I often talk with people who say that, no, you can't do this because that's denying the facts. You can't deny the facts. Well, I would say you can deny the facts if you believe the truth. It's weak and it's uncourageous to actually think that you need to just submit to the facts. What it is you're intimidated, you're scared to plant your flag, and so you don't. We're trying to protect how we look, our pride. We don't want to be disappointed. So instead, we bow to facts of situations. And that is why we get the results of situations. It's not easy to believe the truth and deny the facts. But it's God's truth. It's not the facts. Verse 5. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night. You shall not be afraid. You won't be afraid. Speaking truth into a situation that would clearly not be the case. Nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. Like, listen to this picture that he paints. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Let me just stop here. Do you see this picture? The destruction that lays waste at noonday. Picture a battle. Like, I'm living in downtown Franklin. Well, our office is in a place called downtown Franklin, Tennessee. Beautiful, beautiful place. Historic place. It's a Civil War town. Why is it a Civil War town? It's a Civil War town because one of the bloodiest battles, one of the highest death counts in the entire Civil War happened right here in Franklin. And it's very sad. There are battlefields all over. There are grave sites and cemeteries all over the place. There are historic locations where people, like, churches that were used as hospitals where you can actually go see, or like houses that were used as hospitals where you can actually go see, and like the blood-stained floors of like all the soldiers, and pictures of where the soldiers just piled up, right? That's this area. It's beautiful now, but it has this really challenging historic significance. That's what I picture. So I get to see all these pictures. I literally, if you go to any of the places around here, like the Carton Plantation, and you tour them, like, it's interesting. I'll sometimes look, like, the grounds that we're on were battlegrounds. My neighbor actually, it's interesting. My neighbor did some excavation they had to build a retaining wall in their backyard. They actually found Civil War weapons like in the ground. So I get to see all this, and often it occurs to me like I'm standing on ground where people like bodies were piled high and people were dying. And there's pictures that I've seen like you look out and literally it's a battlefield. If after the battle is over, it's a field of bodies, just absolute destruction on both sides. Bodies piled high, generals laid on top of generals on porches. There are these pictures all over here. You can look them up. Franklin, Tennessee, Civil War, Battle of Franklin. That's what I picture when I see this. And so he's saying that these are the facts of the situation. Destruction lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. It doesn't say it won't hurt you. It doesn't say you'll get out by the skin of your teeth. It actually says it won't come near you. That's cool. These are the facts. This is God's truth. Here's what he instructs us to say. Only with your eyes shall you look. That's interesting. Only with your eyes. How can you look at something with anything other than your eyes? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Well, clearly, looking has more to do with, has more than just the eyes attached to it. So you'll see something. Well, the way I read it is you'll see something, but you won't believe it. You won't act in accordance with that being the truth, because those might be the facts, but they're not the truth. Only with your eyes. This is important because he's instructing us to say, you can't let it go further than your eyes. Like, how many of you, this happens to me and happens to a lot of people I know, like you see something, instead of just seeing it for what it is, it's a fact of a situation. It's not necessarily the truth, but it's a fact of the situation. Whatever it is, it's got whatever meaning it has to you, like you don't give it a bad meaning, right? How many times do you see that and you don't just acknowledge it for a thing, a circumstance or a fact, but you actually start to obsess over it. And you actually start to play it out in your mind. Like, what if this thing happens this way? What am I going to do? How am I going to, like, whatever? And then you're actually living it out. And then maybe you get worried and maybe you build anxiety about it. And maybe now you're already playing out the bad situation that hasn't even happened from those facts. Like I said before, like the reason that makes it happen is because you steal today's energy to work on tomorrow's imagined problem, and you don't have the energy to actually change the thing that would avoid that problem, and so that problem happens. What this is instructing us to do is to not do that. Don't get consumed with that. Only with your eyes shall you look. You observe it, and you move on and see the reward of the wicked. Verse 9, because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place, no evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. Not near you, near your dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all of your ways. That's powerful. Like the angels. If you make the Lord your refuge, like the place where you get your safety, you don't have to, that's an interesting one, because like I say often, like the Bible is conditional. It's not unconditional, it's conditional. Like, if you do this, then this happens. And so a lot of times those conditions might be more challenging, some may say, but this one's easy. Because you've made the Lord your refuge, making him your refuge is basically just making him your protection, like living there. Because you've made the Lord your refuge, then you get all these things. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. And he gives his angels. These are angels that fight in the battle, like I've said before, and it's not new. Like everything is a spiritual battle. If you're going through something, it is clearly a spiritual battle. It's always a spiritual battle. It's always a spiritual game. It's always spiritual warfare. If you're not realizing that, then you're in trouble because you're fighting, you're in a battle and you don't realize it. It's like that battle. Like I'm talking about like the Civil War, like the Battle of Franklin. What if all that was happening around me, but I was walking through it, not thinking that it was something else, that it wasn't. Oh, this must be like just a bunch of people like reenacting something, whatever. Like, I don't know how you could mistake a battle for anything else. But what if that was the case? I would get destroyed and annihilated. I have no chance. It's the same if you don't realize that there's a spiritual battle happening. It's the exact same thing. Like if you don't realize that everything is a spiritual battle, everything, then you're in war without leveraging the weapons of war. Like you need to become a warrior because if you're going to win the spiritual battle, there are actual weapons that you can employ. Like these are some of them. They're actual weapons. And here's the cool thing. The angels are fighting that battle, right? You're part of that. You play a role in it. There's this battle happening. And there's these angels, right? Like all these great angels that you read about in the Bible that have done great things. God will give his angels charge of you. This is an actual secret service for you. You're the president. We just had the presidential inauguration, right? It's like these angels are secret service. They're around you. They're protecting you. And this is real. If you don't think you need this, maybe that's part of the problem. Like there's a battle. If you don't have protection, you're going to get destroyed. You want the angels protecting you. I'll tell you that. I do. Because you're marching into something. You're doing something, leading people, pursuing something that has risks. And if you're successful, you have serious spiritual implications. Like if you're successful and you're doing something important, don't you think you're a target of the devil? Why wouldn't you be? And so wouldn't you want the secret service of heaven protecting you? I know I do. Because you've made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place, no evil shall befall you. This is a promise. And that's a powerful promise. Because as scary as it looks, no evil will befall you. As scary as it looks, no matter the facts. That's the promise. I want that. Nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. I want that. For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all of your ways, not some of your ways, not when you're going to church, all your ways. That I want as well. That means like when I'm going into the meeting or when I'm marching into this new thing that I'm not sure what's going to happen or, could be bad, could be good, or I have to do something really, really, really hard that I don't want to do. Keep you in all of your ways. Verse 12. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent shall trample underfoot. I want the angels bearing me up. Like I don't want to have to walk up the mountain myself in my own strength and bear all the other responsibilities and burdens and people. I don't want that because I can't do it. I want the angels in their hands bearing me up. That sounds powerful. It also sounds like it's not all about me, which it's not. But that is actually a great thing that it's not all about me because guess what? Like, I'm not that strong. I've realized that recently with not being able to walk for the last 20 days. It's getting a little better day by day. But it turns out like you want that. I want that. Verse 14, because he has set his love upon me. That means you, because you have set your love upon me, because the man or the woman, because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I'll set him on high because he has known my name. He shall call upon me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life, I'll satisfy him and show him my salvation. What a powerful promise this is. Like it when you're going through something or when you're worried that you're going to be going through something, like these words are the things you want. These are the things I want. So the condition is because he set his love upon me. So what does that mean? What is setting his love upon? So I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I don't know how to love God. I don't know that a lot of people do. And we learn that just the act of wanting to is the right path forward, is important enough. But as you dig into it, it's like, okay, how do I love? Well, how do I follow his commands? That's how I love him. Or what are his commands? Well, I've been given resources and I need to do something with those resources. Like I need to do something and multiply those resources. I need to be fruitful and multiply. Okay. I need to love others. By the way, loving others is not always what the culture would like you to think. It's not always, being nice to others. Loving others is truly loving them, meaning how do you do what you're supposed to do in a situation that would actually help them, even if it's not what they want? And that's hard. I mean, sometimes you have to let people suffer. Sometimes you need to step in. Sometimes you need to suffer. So setting your love on God, I think are doing these kind of things. Like seeking him, waiting on him, like pursuing his commands. If you do that, I will deliver him. That's the promise. I will set him on high because he has known my name. He knows who's in charge. She shall call upon me. Here's what I want. And here's what I've been praying and claiming. Like I say, you need to claim these things. Like I've been taught, and why not? Like God's word is God's word. It never changes. It's always true. And so use his word in situations. Use his word against him, if you want to call it that way. It's not really against him, but like he said this, now do it. Right? You said it, now do it. So claim this. All right. My goal is to make sure that I set my love upon him. I make him my dwelling place. And I know his name. And now I'm going to call on him. And he said he will answer. He doesn't say he might answer. He said he will answer. He shall call upon me and I will answer. Okay, God, it's time for you to answer. Now, how he answers, that's up to him. May not be the way I want him to answer. Surely, I understand that. But it says he will. 100%. Not maybe, not 99%, not 99%. 100% he will. If you want him to answer, by the way, you need to ask him a question. So you should ask yourself, what's a good question that you'd want him to answer? Because if he answered something, if you're praying for an answer, and then you ask yourself, well, if he answered, would I even know it? I even know that he answered. You got to ask a good question. Second one is, I will be with him in trouble. Okay, cool. That's good. That's helpful. You're with me. Just frankly, I don't, that's not the thing I want the most in the moment, doesn't seem, but I think we do. His presence is like, I know this is like peace. It's actually all the feelings that you want from the situation going away is actually in his presence. So that's what's interesting about him being with you. It kind of gives you the resulting emotions without really even maybe your situation changing, which at the end of the day, what does it matter if your situation changes or doesn't if you have the right resulting emotions that you're going after? Think about that. Other thing is, I will deliver him and honor him. That I want. Claim this. Okay, so you said if I do this, if I set your love upon you, if I dwell in your secret place, like if I know you, then you'll deliver me and honor me. Deliver me. This is very clear. Deliver me. Okay, so God, I'm telling you, I'm claiming, deliver me. It's time for you to deliver me from this thing. You said you would deliver me and honor me. With long life, I'll satisfy him. Yes, I want that. I want long life. I'm not the type of person that's like, oh man, 40, my back. It's annoying that my leg actually hurts. I don't believe it's age related. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't believe it. I'm someone who's like, let's bring on 120 plus. Okay. I want long life and I do want to be satisfied. I want satisfaction. Like I want to feel good with what I'm doing. And I'll show him my salvation. That's the end of Psalm 91. And it's a powerful prayer from a powerful leader. Two leaders, someone who has been through way more than any of us have experienced greater miracles than we may ever see, maybe not, because they stood up to impossible situations and were bold enough to ask about it, not timid and scared, but bold enough to ask for it and believe it in spite of the facts, in spite of the situation. And so, as I'm wrapping it up here for you, I just want to remind you of like four things. There are four concepts in here that if you boil them all down, it comes down to. First thing is this concept of dwells. You see dwells show up 3 or 4 times. Dwell, you're dwelling. Here's what's interesting about dwell. It's the definition is to live in a specific place. Okay. So that means like he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, I live there. I live in the secret place of the Most High. What's the secret place of the Most High? Well, it's your quiet place with God. Like it's a secret because only you know it in your heart. It's in the presence of the Most High. When you have a problem, where else would you rather be but in the presence of the Most High, the presence of someone who can actually change that thing? So dwells in the secret place of the Most High. This concept dwell comes up in verse 9, because you've made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. Again, the same thing. Your dwelling place comes up in verse 10. Like that nothing shall come, no plague shall come near your dwelling, the place that you live. Dwell is important. He who dwells, like dwelling to me, actually has peace attached to it. It's living and not fearing. Like you're not scared that your house is going to be taken away. You're confident in the place that you live, right? It's a specific place. You have to dwell, and then you have to abide. When you dwell, you get to abide. Abide is the concept. The definition of abide is to remain. It's to remain, to continue, or to live in a place or a state. So when you dwell in the secret place, you get to abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Again, abide under the rule of someone who loves you, and also is the ruler and end all, say all of the universe. So that's the first concept. You get to see this concept of dwelling and abiding. Or the second concept, it's one I already talked about, so I'm not going to get into it much, is that facts don't matter to God. Some say facts don't care about your feelings. The truth is facts don't matter to God. Facts don't care about your feelings. Truth doesn't care about your feelings either. Facts and truth are not the same thing. And so things may seem impossible. Things may seem overwhelming. Our instructions are clear that the facts are not matter. His truth is what matters. This comes up in like verse 4, where it says, his truth shall be your shield and buckler. His truth, not the facts. Verse 5, you shall not be afraid of the terror by night and all these different things, the destruction that lays waste at noonday. Verse 7, that picture of like a battlefield, 1,000 have fallen at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near to you. These are the truths, and that's what we're supposed to focus on, not the facts. That's the second concept. The third one is giving you protection, angelic protection, the heavenly secret service in all circumstances and situations. Like if you do these things, then you get angels dispatched to you. I started a couple years ago. I started specifically praying. I started praying a little more specifically, and I try to continue to do that. I would encourage you to do that as well. Specific prayers are more likely to get answered because they're specific. The words that you pray matter. Now, yes, God knows your heart and all these kinds of things, but like praying specifically is very important and very powerful. So I started praying a couple of years ago. I always get our kids together in the morning and pray before they go to school. Really started when all these horrible school shootings were happening, like all over our country. And there was one in a Christian school right over here, like a horrible situation that's happened in 2 years ago, I think, 2022 or 2023. And I realized how vulnerable and how like our kids are and how evil Satan is and how evil people through Satan are. And then, the truth is like, it's not just with the kids. Then you realize it's like actually everywhere. Like we are so much more fragile than we think we are. Like we may be scared about something, but the truth is like the fact that you got up this morning, that's a pretty big miracle. Because like it would have taken like a tiny little chemical reaction in your body to not happen for a split second for you to die in the middle of the night. But you got up this morning. So like we don't realize this. We just think this. Like we're just not aware. So I started praying very specifically for angels to be dispatched over each person in our family, over each kid, in every place that we're going. Because I do this when we travel. We're taking a trip now. We've been praying for weeks that angels would go before us on the planes, in the cars, in all the situations, wherever we are, in all the different places to protect us. And you read about angels having charge over you. You see it here. Like that's awesome. That's like literally your own secret service. It says that there are angels dispatched to you. But the truth is like, you got to pray specifically for it. The power of specifically not just protection, but angels' protection in all circumstances. That's highlighted here. I think it's so important, so powerful. And then lastly, the promise. Right? You get these powerful promises throughout, but in verse 14, it says, because he has set his love on me, therefore I will deliver him. Not I may, I will deliver him. I'm going to claim that promise. I'll set him on high because he has known my name. He shall call on me and I will answer. Not I may answer, I will answer. I'll be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him. I will. It's not I may. It's not I might. It might. It's I will. It will happen. And that is something that I'm willing to challenge God on and claim those things. That's what I'm doing. I hope that you can do these as well. This is how you win at life. This is how you win at business. This is how you win at anything. You leverage the principles of the universe that are codified in God's word, the Bible. That's why this podcast exists. That's why the Biz Devo exists. That's why we do this. And if more entrepreneurs, owners, leaders of things that were not just churches. Churches are great. I love churches, but not just overtly Christian organizations or spiritual organizations, but actual marketplace businesses, people. If more people employed these principles, and I'm focusing on those people because they're not as aware of it as like a pastor maybe. More people focused on these principles, we'd have more success, we'd have more achievement, we'd have more greatness that helps the world and does God's work the way you were meant to do it than if you didn't. So that's why we're doing this. I hope this encourages you today. I hope it helps you live out your ambition and your leadership in whatever you're doing. Please like, subscribe, share, whatever on the different platforms. If this helped you, send it to a business owner, send it to an entrepreneur, send it to a leader. If we spread that, it'll actually help spread this more. Like, you know how it all works. So I don't have to tell you how it works. But do that. If you'd like to learn more about the Biz Devo, you can go to bizdevo.com. That's bizdevo.com. If you'd like to learn more about me, Kenneth Ott, you'd like to maybe work with me or find out more about our businesses, you can do that at kenott.com. That's KENOTT.com. Thanks, and until next time, never stop growing.